You were talking in the last segment more than a little bit about staffing problems. I'm on the way into work this morning, and I hear this report from Asheville, North Carolina. It's a plague of manpower shortages in law enforcement across the country. If there are, and I don't know what the number was, but let's say you've got 30 categories of 911 calls that you answer. They are so short of officers to answer calls. They literally have chopped it in half. So they've prioritized. If there's 30, there's 30. They've chopped off the bottom 15 so they can get to the top 15. Is it really that bad? I know you talk to a lot of other law enforcement sheriffs, cops across the country, and you just referred to your own in Shreveport, the SPD manpower shortage.
Right, the SPD and the Caddo Sheriff's Office, we're about 65 short right now. We really need deputies, but we're not getting anybody to even apply. We had a job fair.
Well, let's go slow. They're not even applying.
No, they think through it and they say, why would I want to do that? And that's part of it's in my report here, how elected officials have to lead and set the example of appreciating law enforcement and the good that is in law enforcement, rather than saying that we are the bad guys and girls, rather than saying we're a bunch of criminals and thugs out there trying to stop and we wake up in the morning and want to go out and shoot somebody. That is so far from the truth, but that's what some elected officials would lead you to believe. There was the Caddo Parish Commission, for instance, refused to even pass the National Appreciation Day for law enforcement. Now, what does that tell? If you're if you're thinking, I may go into law enforcement for my career, and then your elected officials don't even appreciate law enforcement. Now, so that's in my report. It talks about elected officials have to understand, they have to get to know, they have to hold us accountable when we do something wrong, but we have to also hold them accountable when they do something wrong. Mm-hmm. When you have elected officials, commissions, boards, governor, the Senate, the legislature, they need to be held accountable also. What have they done to help the fight against violent crime? Okay, you see everything that they've done about COVID. Okay, everybody wanted to be on TV about COVID every few minutes. Okay, what have you done about violent crime? And I've told you and I've pointed out throughout the 4 years it's been in existence that there are people that should not be getting out of jail that are getting out of jail, and they are reoffending. They're not only in jail because they hurt somebody, they're getting out and they're hurting someone else. Now, what would be wrong with at least objectively studying that? I'm not saying I got all the answers. I'm not telling a single one of these groups, these 11 groups, I'm not telling them what to do. I'm in my own lane as best I can. But being the chief law enforcement officer of the parish, I feel a responsibility. Everybody's clamoring for a plan. And law enforcement, of course, has plans as far as what we do, how we attack certain problems, task forces and things. But this is a comprehensive look at this. If you don't agree with it, fine. Prove me wrong. If you agree with parts of it, implement parts of it. But if we're a football team and I'm the quarterback and you're not blocking for me, we are not going to win this game.
Mm-hmm. Time for one more, kiddo. What you got?
I want to talk to you a little bit about the justice system, because we hear a lot that all these cases get bogged down at the district attorney's office or in judges, and they enter pleas and they let these criminals off on these plea arrangements so they don't have to go to trials. Is that a big part of the puzzle that we can solve and that you're urging these folks to solve? That
is a part of the puzzle. I would say it's a big part, but it's not. There's a lot of different parts. The illegal possession of firearms is, if you will address that, law enforcement officials throughout the United States agree, that's the way to address violent crime, is the illegal possession of firearms. What happens is if somebody beats up their spouse, if somebody robs a store, if somebody shoots someone but doesn't kill them, and they go to jail and they get out, and then they're told you cannot possess a firearm, and then they immediately possess a firearm. What do you think they're doing that for? They're not going to hunt deer.
No.
Okay?
No.
They're not rabbit hunting. Mm-hmm. All right, they've got that gun, and they've already shown they have a propensity to violence, and then they get a gun, and or if they're dealing drugs and they have a gun, those guns are for a purpose, and the purpose is an illicit purpose. And until those cases, every one of them has to be handled. And the gun charge in the federal system, criminals are scared to death about going to the federal system on gun charges. They even have billboards on Uri Drive, the federal system, saying if you got a gun and you commit a felony crime, no probation, no parole, you go in jail. That's in the federal system. Criminals, our local criminals that have gun charges, much prefer going to Caddo courts. And being prosecuted in Caddo because they're going to receive certain breaks. And I'm just asking, how about us treating it seriously? Maybe you saw Yellowstone.
Sure.
There's 3 cowboys riding. A bear jumps out, and the foreman tells one of the cowboys, shoot the bear. And the guy says, you know I don't have a gun. I'm a felon. Now, that's in Yellowstone. Do you think that would happen in Shreveport, Louisiana?
Which one of us do you want to shoot the bear?
Yeah.
We all have guns.
A felon? What, you mean I can't carry a gun?
Yeah.
You know, that's ridiculous. That mindset has to change. It can only change if we work together as a team. And everybody's included in this. We got to hold our elected officials. Ask our legislators, what over the last 4 or 5 years have you passed to help us in our fight against violent crime? Ask some hard questions.
You even put the media in here. You say we can do a better job.
The media could do more investigative reporting. We're short. I know the media's short, especially the live media. They send one person to cover a whole story and they're on to the next story. Take your time and let's help our community. As I said in the end of it, we either gotta get together and work on this thing and try to win this game, or else we better all find a good realtor.